For my final contribution to La Plaza, I wanted to create a meaningful art piece displaying the history, impact, and significance of the space by researching archives from a retired exhibition and using some of my own resources. I chose the name Fuchsia because the Southern Californian fuchsia, which I depicted in my art piece, has a vibrant reddish-orange glow, which symbolizes prosperity, and the radiant color is super inviting, which is what La Plaza and the community around it made me feel when I first began interning here. The flowers also attract hummingbirds, which resembles how our space attracts so many diverse and unique stories. I was mainly inspired by Margaret Garcia, who is an oil painter featured in an older exhibition at her museum. She had a lot of confident, brush strokes, and you can, really notice it in her paintings, and I kind of wanted to give off that same vibe in my piece, because I use oil pastels, which are, different from oil paintings, but it's pretty similar, you can mix really good and everything. I also took an art appreciation class where I learned about the intention behind a lot of works, and I feel like just learning about how I can use symbolism and all these other techniques, it made me more conscious to implement these techniques in my own artwork. So I was able to create something that really sent a message. The main techniques I used in my artwork was oil pastel and charcoal, but before that I went over it with pencil before, just so I can get a rough idea of what it'll be like. The hardest part to make was probably the building using the oil pastels, because they tend to be pretty messy, and I mean the building was pretty precise and there's a bunch of detail to it, so I need to be straight on point when I draw it. But other than that, it was a learning experience, definitely. So the man on the bottom left represents the unknown laborers who constructed the vast majority of Los Angeles and who made the building itself. We may not know exactly who they were, but they were likely Chinese, Mexican, or indigenous laborers who helped construct the Vickery Brunswick building back in 1800s, because their prevalence was super strong, so it was undoubtedly from that group. And I decided to feature them because I wanted to share how important they were to constructing these spaces for us, and I feel like they strongly deserve credit. So that's why the workers holding up and supporting our building, kind of how they support our communities. The optimistic and calming window color that I chose, it's blue. I chose it to complement the warm and reflective orange sky, and I wanted to suggest viewers that this is a welcoming and inviting environment, and we support community through our contribution of history and a free space. I included an abundance of greenery that surround the museum to show how La Plaza is a key hub for growth and stories and ideas thrive here. As the leaves create waves, it suggests a current or a flow of ideas that occur here as stories and history are shared. The giant eye represents observers and museum visitors. The giant pupils highlight the power of awareness and knowledge about historical issues and their place today. I wanted to show how, with the information we provide, museum goers they have so much potential to create decisions for the underappreciated people and workers who sustain Los Angeles. The woman emerging from the lush foliage wearing a native Southern Californian orange flower, which is the fuchsia actually. It represents the current and determined progressive generation that value identity and who take action against issues that we highlight in La Plaza. I wanted to highlight how the current generation will be extremely influential towards positive change. Ultimately, my art piece aims to showcase the growth that comes from being aware and knowledgeable about issues we highlight here, but also how the safe space provided here, along with the countless highly engaging stories shared in our exhibitions, further develop community and strengthen values around identity.